Hello, everybody. Welcome to Charlie Mike, hosted by me, Mike Buchanan. So today we have the Community Learning Center on to talk about their program and kind of what it is that they do. Where are you located at?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas. Mm-hmm. So in the bougie part of our the DFW. Okay, sweet. Well, thank you so much for being on. Can I just refer to you as CLC? I know it's not what you were going to say. It's not our community living center, okay,
right.
that we have in the VA.
Right.
So not to be confused.
Correct.
So good that you reminded me about that. So not to be confused, but yes, I mean for lack of better words, we're going to call you CLC.
Love
cool.
It.
Sound
Love
good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So thanks so much for being on today. I think it's going to be a really cool podcast. We haven't really had anybody on that does kind of what all of you do, which I think is really important, especially during this kind of time period that we're kind of all living in.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we just do this? There's a heck of a lot of you, so we're just going to kind of go around. Do you want to start maybe here, and then we'll just kind of work this way?
I'll take it.
Oh, or do you want to take it?
Okay,
of course you will, because you just do
me.
whatever you want. It's just
sorry, not sorry.
No, it's fine. It's a pattern here.
Yeah. I like consistency. There's
it's good.
beauty in that. Yeah. But no, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah.
We love it. I mean, all three of us are veterans. I personally am a retiree from the Navy. I was a Navy counselor, and so now I'm with CLC, and I do training and employment for veterans. Veteran case manager is my title. We're a nonprofit technical school. Like you said, Fort Worth, Texas is one of our locations in White Settlement. The other one's in Forest Hill, off of I-20. So between the two campuses, we serve anybody that served in the military, their current spouse, and also dependent children. We have grant funding so that they can attend one of our 7 different programs. And where we're located in White Settlement, we have 3 program opportunities. So we have a 6-week manufacturing aerospace assembly training course. It's great for, any of the defense contractors in the area to get on board with them, and business there is good. A lot of the relatives and friends and family send people to us to get trained to get a job in that industry. We have a 4-week bookkeeping course. Everything is in person, and it is during the day, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
The hours vary a little bit just depending on what program the person elects to pursue. And so then the last one at our site is our new HVAC program. So I'm going to toot our horn just a little bit, and then I'll move on. But
well, you can't move on before you tell us your name.
Crystal, sorry.
Because you literally, I was like, hey, why don't you tell us who you are? And you're just like, yes, this is what CLC does. I love it. Like, you're so excited. But I was like, wait. But you have to tell everyone who you are.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Yeah, it would be helpful.
I have a name tag, but I kind of assume.
Everyone just zoom
Crystal.
in.
Yeah.
Zoom in. Just zoom in. It's not weird. It's not weird. Just zoom in. You can do it. Just stop the video and just zoom in. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I was talking about HVAC. Now that we know that I'm Crystal from CLC.
Hi, Crystal from CLC.
It's awesome. I mean, we have a 12-week program that just got approved through the VA, so people can use GI Bill funding if they want to, and it is 12 weeks, so that's why that's nice to have that monthly housing stipend while they're going through training to get into a new industry. But we had a Vietnam-era veteran attend our course recently. He was like roughly 72 years old and got hired, is making $35 an hour, and he's just loving life. Like, he likes to be busy. So we have no age requirements except for the fact that they've had to graduate high school or gotten a GED.
Yeah.
That's really the only requirement for age. But half of our class that graduated on February 4th is already placed, so they got jobs, so it's great. But across town at Forest Hill, our other location, we have 4 program opportunities over there. So we have an 8-week welding program. We have an 8-week CNC machining program. We have a 2-week forklift and logistics program that sets them up for a certification through MSSC, which is the Certified Logistics Associate, if they want to. And lastly, we have electrical pre-apprenticeship program, and that's 6 weeks. So then they go and they work with IEC, and that's where they actually start the apprenticeship program, which is paid.
Awesome.
So
that was a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we do.
Hi, Crystal from CLC. Crystal. All right, you want to go? Let's go to next.
My name is Eric Majors. I run the HEARTH program, which is the Housing Adjustments for Real Texas Heroes.
Awesome. What was your branch of service?
Army Reserves.
Only branch of service. Yeah.
This summer will be 19 years, and hopefully be ready to retire after that.
Nice. Well, hi.
Hi.
He's going to
Did you
SLC
see how that
next
was, Crystal?
I do. I do. You did it
week. He's
very
going
well.
to SLC next week.
Yeah.
So he's
Oh, you're going to
still
SLC?
doing.
Woo! Lucky you.
Yeah.
All right, let's start. Let's go with you.
Hello, I'm Frank Felice. I'm the Veterans Financial Assistance Case Manager for what we call Combatants Overcoming Income Needs. So COIN, people know it as COIN. It's a financial assistance grant for combat veterans that are considered low income. I can talk about it a little bit more when we come back to me.
You sure you don't just want to jump right into it? I'm kidding.
But
I kid.
I did say my name. I did
Yes.
say my
You
name,
did.
but I am Army field artillery by trade.
Good bunny.
Yeah, I was field artillery by trade, and I was a paratrooper until I broke my back, and I'm retired, luckily. So
Yeah, how to jumping out of an airplane workout. Not
on the
great.
40th, on the 40th jump, it didn't end so well.
Yes. Well, thank you all for being here. Crystal, you already went over all your stuff, so you don't get to go anymore.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. You can expand later. You can
That's what
expand
he
later.
says.
But since it is the CLC show, Charlie Mike, we're gonna go straight into. How do you all want to kind of do this? Because I know all of you do something totally separate. Okay, and I want to make sure that all of you get enough time to talk about what you want to talk about. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, sweet.
Again, I have a financial assistance grant, and it's funded through Texas Veterans Commission. It's a government grant, so there's stipulations set by the government. As a nonprofit, what we do is we pay for the bills, and then we request a refund from our grantor. So documentation that we need is what our grantor needs to provide us as a refund. And so, like I said, there's two requirements for the grant, one being a combat veteran, and the other requirement is under the 80 percentile, which is the highest income limit for county and household size. So depending on where you live, Dallas, Fort Worth is a metroplex, so it's a higher income than rural Texas.
So what's like an example of let's just throw out like an example of what?
Tarrant County, I would say household of one is below 46,000.
I think that's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, and it grows as
The
up
household
to 8
grows.
kids.
Sure.
Right.
Or not kids, but 8 household
Well,
members.
it's good to have like a ballpark kind of like, okay, this is kind of what it would look like. Yeah.
I think the highest I've seen was 90,000 for
Yeah.
eight
Something like that, yeah.
8 household members.
Wait,
So
who has 8 household members?
I don't know. There's people
I got a couple.
populating.
Really? Wow. They're doing it big. Okay, cool. Really good for them. I mean, I don't know how anyone handles that. It's like having an entire like platoon. It's like a whole football team like in your house.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Man.
So financial assistance, what it covers is $1,800 one-time use for rent or rent and deposit to move somebody in. We do a lot of permanent housing, getting homeless veterans into permanent housing. I can't cover temporary housing like hotels and motels, but I can cover rent, deposit, mortgage. So that's the housing piece of it.
Yeah.
And then there's utilities that cover gas, water, electric, normal utilities. I can't cover, people ask for cell phones and cable and internet. I can't cover those things.
No, just the stuff that's needed to survive in the place. Yes.
Not the
And then
niceties.
Yeah, not
and
the
then,
niceties.
And then transportation as well. And that's car payment, car insurance, and car repair.
So that you can get to and from. So you
Yeah,
have a
and-
reliable transportation to get to and from a job.
And we could do public transportation passes
Okay.
as well. And the last thing is childcare. It's a short-term childcare. I've only done one in almost 2 years, but it's to help them get into a job. And like you said, we do separate things, but we as CLC try to holistically serve the veteran by a lot of times they need financial assistance, but they also need training and employment, getting them into a well-paying job in the trades, and that's why we like to serve them, as well as his grant. Sometimes they can't afford repairs, or they need repairs, and they're also short on their mortgage, so they have to be current on mortgage. So we've been able to financially assist somebody with their mortgage, get them current, so that he can do some repairs.
Yeah.
So we like to holistically serve and also connect the veteran with other providers.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trust you as an organization if you didn't, honestly, right? I mean, because I think that you really have to ask yourself, like, are you really just there to check a box and get government funding, like for an organization, or are you there to actually help? Because I think that the more that I find that organizations who really want to help are multitasking, right, all of their different programs, because you really have to ask yourself, if someone's coming to you for financial assistance, that's fine and that's all good and well, and that might be what they think that they need to kind of survive for now. But really, in the back of your mind, you should be thinking, why are you even in this situation, right? And what can we do to help you prevent you from being in this situation again, right? So whether it's a loss of a job, right, or it's I had to spend all my money on home repairs or something like that to repair my heater because I got 8 kids, okay, or whatever in the household. So like if I had to spend $4,500, that was my savings that I had saved up. Well, like maybe we need to kind of work on something else. And with holistically, I think that's really cool. It's a great idea.
Yeah, and there's a lot of providers that I have worked with that do provide financial assistance. My limit is $1,800, and so we have to be able to pay the balance. So sometimes another provider needs to jump on, pledge an amount, so that way the balance is paid, because there can't be a balance. At the time of assistance, there can't be a past due balance that would affect them of foreclosure, eviction, or loss of services in those utilities. So,
yeah, you don't want to make a situation. Yeah, you don't want to make a worse situation for them, right? Like you get them into something that they just can't handle.
Yeah, because that would be considered $1,800 that was lost.
Yeah,
that we can help them move somewhere else, or we can provide to another veteran.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever heard this. I know this is really like it's a rough topic to talk about, but I know that there used to be. Did you hear about people like busing homeless people to different cities?
Yeah.
To me, that's an organization's way of busing someone to another city, right? Is they're like, yeah, we'll bail you out, sure, why not? And they just throw money, and then just like, yeah, but you just put them in another terrible situation, right? Because they might have been good for that, but like there's no long-term solution, and so like now they're in an even more impossible situation down the road because now they're like locked in to something 12 months or whatever, like let's say a lease or something, right? Like, yeah, you helped them get in, but now they're locked into that 12 months. Now it's going to affect their credit. Yeah. Now it's going to affect their eligibility status trying to get another place if they get evicted. Like it affects a whole lot more. And so again, the whole holistic viewpoint is essential, I feel like.
Right. And I mean, we're a small nonprofit organization, but it's interesting because you said city, and Frank's program serves residents of Texas, combat veterans, and surviving spouses of combat veterans statewide. Yeah,
that's a lot.
So he gets calls from all over.
And they just have to become a resident of Texas to get the grant and meet the criteria.
Yeah,
we had some hurricane transfers that came into Texas, and I was able to get them into permanent housing that way, or people coming from California to Texas, and they were a veteran, and they're making a residence here in Texas. I can serve them.
Oh, is it not working?
It's blinking.
No, it's fine. Okay. You're good. I can still hear you. I know he doesn't have headphones on, so he can't hear, and he just saw that we thought we had technical malfunction. We don't. Okay. You're good. I can hear you just fine. You sound great. Well, yeah, okay. That's really good to know. So we will we'll talk more, I'm sure, about how your piece fits in, because your piece is extremely essential. I know that working in the homeless program, we used resources like yours consistently to try to get veterans into a place and to get them kind of consistent as like their benefits started coming in. That was going to eventually, pay for the rest of their year. So I'm sure we'll touch base back on it, but I want to kind of move on so we can keep talking because there's so many of you. So, So I guess, do you want to go now? Okay, great. So why don't you just introduce yourself again and just kind of tell us what your program's about?
Again, my name's Eric Majors. I run the HEARTH program. That's a housing adjustments for real Texas heroes. Now, Frank's program is statewide, whereas my program, it's Tarrant County and the surrounding 15 counties. We'll have a list on your
Yep, bulletin. I'll put it up on the description.
Yeah. So stuff I can do is, so it's modifications and weatherization to the house. So like roofing replacement, siding, windows, doors, weather stripping type stuff. As far as the outside, inside I can do plumbing, electrical repairs, interior walls, flooring, those kind of issues. And then for disabilities, do modifications such as handrails, ramps, widening of doors, making easy access for bathrooms and kitchens, done a little bit of a bathtub, easier access for bathtubs. So stuff like that. Similar with rank, a maximum is the 80% percentile with the HUD income. However, I can fall on to the if a veteran has a VA disability, I can fall back on that. So, yeah, several in Tarrant County where it has the higher income, which many people will fall under that already. Whereas in Palo Pinto, where it's a lower income, so if they have 100% disability, catch-22 on that is they'll be above that. But I can fall back on that disability. Hey, you're still in the program.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. I think it's essential too, and I think it's a service. You do a service that I knew that there were services out there like that, right? But I guess I just didn't know how it all kind of worked until we talked before this, because obviously like I've always thought about that because like I had a major repair that had to get done in the house, right? And I was like, I do not want to go to insurance, like because then it just increases everything exponentially, right? And then it's like, okay, do I really have the savings to do this? Like for instance, like I just had to buy a new refrigerator, right? Because like my refrigerator is like at the end of its lifespan, right? And so like it's a necessity. Like you need a refrigerator at a house, and so like I had to be like, oh, there went all my tax money, right? And so I was like, dang it. But like I think like for it sounds to me like you fix major necessities that make the house livable, right? Correct.
Quality of life type repairs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't do emergency stuff. So if you have a pipe burst, it does take time to get the documents and for me to get a visit. So if you have a continuous leak, I may not be the best solution. You may have to take care of it or get your insurance to take care of it. But I can come back later and help you with those repairs. If the insurance didn't help you.
I think, so people should think about you as like a preemptive, like, hey, this HVAC is starting to get rattly, right? Or it's only really, I think sometimes it's only kicking out hot air or something like that, right? Like maybe we should think about what we're going to do about this and then maybe give you a call then.
Yeah. Or you're moving around the house. Hey, I'm getting older. It's getting more difficult to move around. Hey, can I get some help on this type of stuff?
Yeah, please don't put that off. Like everybody puts that stuff off.
But his before and after photos are significant. I mean, some of the conditions that our aging veterans that have been living in the area have been dealing with were just unimaginable. And to see the before and then what they did after to help, it's just... It makes us feel good about what we do. Yes, we do get paid a salary, but I mean, it's so rewarding to come to work every day and just be able to have change, like influence change in the positive direction for veterans, for their families. Like it's amazing.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
A lot of his clients are elderly and have no means of adding additional income to make those repairs. And so it's really life-changing to them. One of the clients we had together, she was short on the mortgage, and I got her current, but she had raccoons falling through her ceiling.
Wow.
So, the repairs, and getting her current financially, and then making those repairs. So.
Yeah, I mean, that could change somebody's life, though. I mean, really.
Life-changing.
It's huge.
You're lodging with raccoons at that point.
Yeah, right.
It's not safe,
Yeah, so it's not safe. No, I mean, most of them are really
like
dirty
pets,
and have rabies. No, not that kind of pet. No.
But we say getting current on a mortgage because it is an investment into the veteran community. If they are at the risk of losing their house, whether it be foreclosure or any other means, it is a loss to the veteran community at that point. We have no investment of ownership to the house, but it's just we invested to a veteran house, and then if that gets lost, well, that was a lost investment.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're really investing in the veteran at that point, right? Like, forget the house repairs. Like, you're just investing into that veteran's life so they can try to, set themselves anew, right? I think that everyone kind of deserves that opportunity to be like, okay, finally, this is taken care of. I can not think about this for, every waking moment of my life, and now I can kind of move on to other thought processes.
Yeah. Now, I believe it can be a little scary for some of the clients. They haven't put up the pride to reach out for us like this, and they are having to give us information that they normally would not give out.
Sure. It's a vulnerable process. I mean, like anything, I talked to a couple of buddies of mine that went inpatient services for mental health, right? And I said, listen, it's like, I know that's the 21st century, but it is a crappy process to go inpatient, right? Like, they basically strip all your dignity away from you almost, right? Like, they strip your clothes, they strip like your phones, they strip like everything from you, and then you get like nothing, right? And so you go into this place where you don't know anybody, and it is extremely vulnerable. Like, it puts you in this extreme vulnerable situation. But it's so worth it, right? Like, it's so worth it at the end, like the amount of help that you get, right? It's so worth being in that kind of vulnerable moment. So I can kind of see like how it kind of maybe almost equate, right? Like, sometimes the best help that we can get for ourselves is we're gonna have to be vulnerable to get that kind of help, right?
Yeah, I don't think our process is that bad though.
No, I'm sure that it's not. I'm sure that's not that
We
bad.
don't
But
judge,
but
like-
but I mean, think about it, right? Like, if you own a house, like, it's your
Yeah.
responsibility to take care of that house. Well, like,
course.
sometimes you just can't, right? And that's a
Right.
lot to
Right.
like own up to. Like,
Yeah.
you have to own up to like,
Yeah.
I didn't meet that mission criteria, and that's
Right.
really hard for veterans
Sure.
sometimes. I know it's really hard for me. Like, my wife asked me last night, "Hey, can you pick me up dinner?" I was like, "Yeah, of course, I'll try to pick you up dinner." But I ran late at work, and then I was literally so upset because I did not complete the mission.
Right.
Right. So like, I'm very mission oriented. So like,
Right.
if I don't complete the mission, I'm really upset. So like,
Sure.
if my mission is to take care of my house and I have raccoons living in my ceiling, okay, because I'm trying the best that I can, I'm doing the best that I can, but I just cannot make repairs to it. Right. Like, it would be hard for me. You're right. I think, your pride takes a hit.
Sure.
Yeah, some of the clients, I mean, they bought their home when they were in their 20s. Now they're in their 60s and above. They're
Yeah.
in retirement age, and they have that fixed income. They have no ability to gain extra income to make a repair.
It's a tough situation to be on a fixed income, right? I mean, it's a tough situation.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that grant really does change lives.
Yeah,
the elderly population. But there's no age limit to that grant.
Right.
So.
Well, that's great. That's even, so your company's not ageist. That's great. That's awesome.
If I could spread one message,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that think we're the VA. And so when we ask for documents, they're like, I've been to the VA for all these years and I've received treatment and I
Yeah.
don't need to give you my DD-214. We don't work for the VA. We have a relationship. We get referrals from the VA. We're here to talk on your podcast, but we are not the VA. We're a separate community learning center, nonprofit that has grants for veterans and veterans programs.
Well, I'm glad that you said that, because you're right. There's a lot of people, but honestly, it goes down to just veteran misinformation all around, right? Like, I try, like, the first thing I used to do yellow ribbon briefings, and I still do like yellow ribbon. So you'll get a yellow ribbon briefing, okay? And maybe I'll do your briefing, okay? But so I'll do VA briefings, and the first thing that I talk about, they all want me to talk about, like, how do they get engaged with healthcare? What about benefits? Things like that. I don't even touch on that. The first thing I touch on is, let me tell you who to be mad at. right? Because like, that's what veterans are always mad at, like the VA for something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but are you sure that you're mad at the right portion of the VA, right?
Sure.
So like, let's break down the VA. This is
Yeah.
what the VA looks like.
Huge.
Yeah. So I'll be like VHA, VBA, and then you have cemeteries, right? So
Right.
then I'm like, okay, well, did you have a problem with your cemetery plot? That's not VHA. Like, you're yelling at your doctor because like someone screwed up your cemetery plot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're yelling at the wrong dude, man. Like, this guy has nothing to do with that. Or like benefits, right? They're like, oh, I didn't get my benefits checked this month. And they're like, I can't believe you VA doctor, you suck. And I'm like, that guy doesn't deserve that. like, what did he do to you, man? Like, he didn't like call VBA and go, don't pay this guy. He was so mean to me last appointment. Just don't pay him. Okay. Like, no. So like now I think it's good though, because then you can kind of focus like your efforts towards like the right department. Right. So I'm trying to point them in the right direction. And so it's the same way, right? Because like
Yes.
people, I'm sure, come to you and you're like, well, the VA sucks so much. You guys suck so much. And you're like, I'm not the VA.
Yeah, a little feedback. from
Yeah.
that.
So I just want to give a little feedback on that, and I'll tell kind of like, it's not a well-known thing, especially even to our employees, right? They don't understand this, is that the VA typically, when it comes to anything money-wise, okay, we're allowed to sponsor it, okay, but we're never allowed to touch it. Okay, it's like a fail-safe built into it, right?
Okay.
So that the VA can't kind of pull from it. And so there's specific grants that get put out, like let's say COIN, or let's say whatever VA program you're working with that has to do with jobs, or let's say you're pulling from another VA program or something, right? Certain companies will hold the purse strings, kind of like Congress does, right? Like,
Right.
where like if the president's like, nope, we're doing this, and they're like, Congress is like, nope, we're not, right? Because like you can't pay for it, okay? So like it's kind of the same way where the VA is like, we need to do this, and then the other company's like, but no,
about that.
About that, right? So yeah, so that's kind of how it works, and a lot of people don't understand that, right? But it puts checks on our services, right? So just like anything else in the government, we need checks on power, and that's one of the ways that they put checks on the VA is that they kind of make other companies in charge of those kind of grants and funds. I didn't even know if you knew that, but that's
learning something new every day. Every day. No, but you know what? And that's another great thing about us in a position. We're always learning about new providers too. You know, touring places or having places come and tour our facility just to be able to have more resources to give to our clients, because we can serve some of their needs like we're talking about today, but we can't serve all of them. I mean, we're a very small agency, so we're constantly learning, and that's fun too. You know, we like to always meet new people and learn new programs. So
yeah, I think honestly, it takes an entire village. Really, it does.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know, a lot of people don't think that. And there's a lot of like hot shots out there that are like, you know, doing outreach or community engagement, and they're just like, no, you just need to come to my organization. I'm like, nah, dude, it takes an entire village, bro. Like we all work together, right? Like even the VA, like the VA is really good at stuff. I mean, we do some wondrous things. Like I like to remind people that like there's this one guy that was like, I hate the VA, and I was like, okay, cool. Why do you hate the VA? He's just like their processes are so stupid, and they don't really get, what do they really give us as veterans? And I was like, do you have a pacemaker? And he was like, yeah, I have a pacemaker. And I was like, yeah, we created that. So you're welcome for your heart keeping ticking, right?
The research element of the VA, the educational part, you know, in academia, like the VA does do a lot, and we don't always know.
Yeah. But I'm like, you're welcome for your heart keep beating because of us, you know, no big deal. We didn't give you anything, right? Yeah. So like, I mean, like I think that it's just wild, right? Sometimes that like how it all kind of transpires, but it's the same thing, right? It takes an entire community to do things. We can't do everything by ourselves. The VA employees can't do everything by themselves. We might see inaccuracies in the VA and things that need to get fixed. We call them opportunities for change. Okay. That is the official terminology in the federal government, is opportunity for change. We have a lot of opportunities for change, but it doesn't necessarily mean that like employees, you know, our word only goes so far. So we try to like encourage veterans, like, you know, kind of rally up and make sure that your voice is heard. Go talk to patient advocates, you know, kind of like that kind of stuff. So yeah, I know it does take a community. I think it's great that we all kind of agree on that.
Yeah.
I know you already kind of did your briefing, so we can just skip you.
Well, I mean, I didn't talk about employment services.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We'll give you another 15 minutes of fame.
Oh, okay, great.
You're welcome.
No, but I mean, that's the other element. You know, not every veteran, not every spouse wants to do training, and that's okay. But they can call us if they're in the North Texas region and say, hey, I need help with my resume. Maybe it needs some work, and I'll take a look at it and give feedback and, you know, help them apply, share job leads. We do mock interviewing. We could do that kind of thing, especially with Zoom nowadays. You know, you don't have to be in person, but we do have in-person services. We're open for that. You know, just employment milestones in general, from how to read a job description, which many veterans don't necessarily know how to do. They joined out of high school for some and have never been in the labor market before. So how do you do that? And what is the method behind the madness when you go to job fairs? You know, if you don't have any idea in your mind of what that formula is for success, you don't realize what you're doing wrong. And it's the same thing with an interview. You know, we do mock interviews with our students, and they say so many times, that question about tell me about yourself, you know, some version of it, and that's usually the first question every interview. They say, I've been answering that wrong for like 10 years. You know? It's like, well, I'm glad that we were able to get you on track.
Yeah,
you know,
I think we all have. Honestly, I tell people all the time, I was like, if you want to be really good in an interview, you just need to film yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like film yourself, like do like a selfie filming of yourself. And then if you're like, that's not bad, right? Then like most of the time people will be like, yeah, I mean, they were pretty good in this interview. But if you're like, whoa, like
I'm too critical of
like I stutter my words, like I can't get out a sentence, I look awkward, I won't stare at the camera. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's all those same skills. Yeah.
I do, but we totally underestimate that first question. We think, well, I know myself. I know what I'm gonna say. And then they go in and they say, well, I've got, you know, 2 kids and and I've got pets, and it's like, that's not what they want.
Yes,
to know.
they don't care about all that. Yeah, no.
You know?
Yeah, there's
30-second pitches. Everybody's
Yeah.
hungry.
Yes.
But I think it's really hard. I mean, sometimes it's hard though, because like veterans, like you're so for me, like for instance, right, like I don't try to talk about myself at all.
Right.
Like I don't want to take credit for it. Like I think even the first time I met you, I was like, listen, if you ever have questions, like I'll answer your question, but like you're gonna answer the veteran. Because like I want to empower you so that
Right.
you're the go-to that
Right.
veteran comes back to, right? Not me, because
Yeah.
I don't want them to bypass all these organizations, right? That they could have like these good working relationships with, or you could like work holistically with them, and then bypass them just because like I can answer their question
Sure.
more efficiently, maybe on a particular topic, right? And so like no, it's about like really empowering that other person, right? Yeah.
Yep. And the other great thing about our organization is that we're connected in a network with Texas Veterans Network, TVN. And if folks call Frank, or if they call and I answer before it gets to Frank, and we realize that we can't help that person because they don't qualify, we check them in with Texas Veterans Network and find a provider that can serve them. And it's so much better knowing at the end of the day that, hey, we've connected them with someone who's going to find the right resource versus just saying, I'm sorry, we can't help you and good luck. We don't like saying that, and we don't. Like if we have a resource and we can connect them, that's what we do.
Yeah, warm handoff.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
when I can assist them, I don't know if they need mental health. I don't know if they need, say they're facing eviction. We want to get, lawyer assistance to them so that they could buy them time to make a payment. And so I think it's important to connect them to all the providers. I'm in no competition other than helping the veteran to the fullest.
I always love it when an
And there is
organization
some
says that.
agencies that
Yeah.
that they're in competition and they talk trash
Yes.
about the other
No.
organization.
Yes.
We're not about that. We're just out there to help the veteran.
So I love it when organizations say that. I really do. And if I could literally tell every organization that is literally what wins you friends, okay, out in the community, because it's all it's like a Venn diagram, right? Like we're always going to cross streams somewhere. Okay. And so it's just a matter of like, how well do we do that? And how can we most efficiently do that together, right? Not separately, not apart, not like, hey, we did a better job than you did. Okay. So like we should deserve the credit because we helped the veteran. It's like, no, like all of us helped the veteran, right? So
Right.
how do we most work together? And that should be like what we all focus on out in the community.
Yep.
Sometimes it's not.
And
And we
if
know that.
Yeah, and if there are some that, they talk a good game, they have a good, social media presence, but they don't answer the phone, we're unfortunately just not going to talk about them, and we're not going to refer to them because some of these veterans don't have time, for the runaround. So we got to get them to the right resource as fast as possible.
I love it. I can't wait till my boss hears this because we tell him this all the time. He's like, "Why aren't you working with this person?" I'm just like, "Because they're not worth our time. Like, they're just not worth our time."
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. Speaking of time, we're running out of time. So listen. Any parting words of wisdom?
The best way to contact us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do the best way.
We do have a Facebook presence, CLC's veteran page. We post events, resources, tips, so you can check us out there. And our website is CLC, as in the Community Learning Center, INC, which is incorporated, abbreviated, .org. So check us out.
I'll put a hyperlink. I'll put a hyperlink down below. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
And our phone number is 817-569-9008.
I will put that down below too.
Option 4 for veterans, it gets any one of us. So if you ask for any one of us or you just tell us what you need as far as from CLC, we're going to get you to the right person or all of us.
I'm going to give you a personal poke. You do not, on your signature block, you do not have your cell phone number.
I don't have a cell phone.
She borrows mine.
We share. Team
Sometimes,
collaborative.
This is why I mentioned something. We need to talk. We should have talked about this for 30 minutes.
sometimes there's veterans that her clients that don't respond to her by email or phone. They don't answer phone calls, but you hit them with a text and they're like, "Oh, hey, I got a job 5 months ago."
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have what did we waste our time talking about all the rest of this stuff?
Yeah.
We should have talked about you not having a cell phone.
We've
I
been trying
think
to
we're going
get you a
back to
job for
talk
a
to the
while.
boss now.
This is insane.
I guess I'm going to advocate for a cell phone.
This is awesome. I mean, it's awesome, but it's absolute insanity.
We are a nonprofit, and there's not a
Yeah.
lot
Okay.
of funds for everything.
We're taking donations.
So, yeah, we,
Oh, good
we
point.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's anybody that wants to donate.
Okay, well, T-Mobile, Verizon, somebody out there, would you please God get with the CLC and get this lady a cell phone? She gets people hired. She
I
probably
know.
hires people at your organization, for Christ's sake. Let's get her a cell phone. That's the least we can do for her shoveling people towards your direction.
Maybe she doesn't want the leash.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah,
I'll
it's a
take it.
secret.
I'll take it.
You know, it's secretly, I think that's what it is. Yeah, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna call Crystal this morning because, like, you know, I left my government phone, and I was like, she doesn't have a cell phone number. Who doesn't have a cell phone? I was so angry. Like, I was so angry this morning.
I do have a cell phone, so I can receive documents
Okay,
by
good.
text. I had to ask for it, but
It's okay.
but
You're more important than
but I
Crystal.
got it.
That's what it means.
I got the hand-me-down. You know, I got the hand-me-down phone from our director. Yes, it's important to have that piece.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, good. Okay, so we know where to contact all of you. I will put all of the description stuff down below. And yeah, I think that's it.
I just thank everybody for their service. Thanks for your service, and thanks again for having us.
My pleasure. I just saw everyone like Chick-fil-A.
Thank
My
you for
pleasure.
The opportunity. I think the workers of the VA will get the most out of it.
Yeah.
And the veterans that do listen to this, but the workers, the case workers that hear about us.
Yeah,
There's
call us.
there's some great ones, and there's some ones that need to know about us. That's
Yeah,
how we
no,
feel.
1,000%. I think that's what we're focusing. Our team is starting to focus on that for the next year or two, right? We're going to be focusing on employees in general. I know that the community is going to be really like upset that we're not going to be out there, but like it's really important. I think we decided that it's more important, at least for the next year or two, to develop our employees' knowledge base of what is available out in the community, so that they can be just as much advocates as we are. Like, it shouldn't be like I have to call Mike Buchanan because he has the answers to all these things and he knows all these resources. It should be like I can call anybody, right? Like, you know, that's at the VA, because they should all know.
There's 1,000 nonprofits, but the veteran does think everything comes.
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
VA,
Of
and
course.
it's not.
Of course.
It's not.
Of course. Any reason to be mad at us is the best reason ever. Yeah. No, I get
Don't
it.
be mad all the time.
Yeah, no, it's not all the time, like 40% of the time, maybe. Okay, that's what I always say. 40% of the time, maybe. Okay, we do something wrong. All right, well, cool. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys being on. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it when nonprofits actually want to work together with the VA and not in, I guess in conjunction and not controversial towards the VA, right? So I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it. I would say on behalf of the VA, but I won't want to put people in early graves because they'd be like, Mike Buchanan just said on behalf of the VA. But thank you. I really do appreciate it. Okay, everyone, that's it. That's all we have for you today. So thank you for CLC to coming in here and telling us all about kind of what their program does and all the different parts of it. So if you need it, give them a call. And yeah, that's it. Please make sure that you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at #VA North Texas. Also, make sure you go onto YouTube and you're following us on YouTube or subscribing on YouTube. I have like 18 subscribers. I really want to get to 20. I know it seems stupid.
No, we
but
can do
like,
it. We can do it.
Yeah, I mean,
We're
it's
gonna
just,
do
it's
it.
like a rounded number. So let's do 20, okay? And that's at Charlie Mike VA, and then that's it. So other than that, please remember, no matter how bad it seems to be, just Charlie Mike.
Don't tell me I'm wrong. Standing up, at least I got some belief.